When the evening settles and the day grows still, stories rise softly from memory's hill. These are the letters we carry inside, stories of love, loss, and pride. Welcome, my friend, to Porch Light Letters.
Hey, kia ora, Helen Brums here, coming to you live from Waikanae Beach in New Zealand. Hope you're all having a super fantastic, sparkling day. My apologies for being late today. I was down a rabbit hole on genealogy and realized and have this little clock here that my dad gave me that I have US time on there for mountain time and it made this little owly noise, and I looked at it and went, oh my gosh, and I hadn't gotten ready or anything, so we're here now. It's all good. So for those, it's Good Friday here in New Zealand. It's a little on the chilly side, but it's okay. It's okay. It's autumn. That's what we expect. So for those that are celebrating Easter weekend, have a happy Easter weekend. We are at Good Friday today, and heading over to my parents' place tomorrow, so I can join the family over there for the rest of the Easter weekend. So I've still got to work tomorrow, but I'll go over after that. Anyway, today it is day 2436, and we are answering the question of how do I verify oral history against records? That is a really good question and a lot of fun, because when I start working with a client, one of the things we do is a discovery call. So I sit there and I have a set of questions that I go through, and there's also questions that I will then ask them based on their answers as well. So I have like my key questions, but I know there's going to be side questions based on whatever it is that they answer while we're doing the discovery call. And you can get the most interesting details that come out during that time and the stories that come out. So it's and then my job is to take what they have given me and go and verify it. So stories gain strength when they are supported by evidence. And how do we do that? We compare stories with documented records. Census, land, and church records can confirm timelines. Comparing details helps verify accuracy. Evidence strengthens the storytelling. Some people do a little embellishment on the true stories just to make it more entertaining and things. But when you start digging deeper, you can find out the real story. And sometimes the real story is better than the embellished version. Yes, I have come across that. Look for consistency across sources. When multiple records support the same story, credibility increases. Consistency builds confidence. Patterns reveal truth. So you got to keep looking for them. Keep looking for them. And I tell you, once I get my notes and I've gone through my notes, I'm like highlighting different areas and things. And once I've got those areas highlighted, now then I come up with my battle plan or my research plan as to where I'm going to start. What am I going to look for? What is the question I'm going to answer based on the notes that I have in front of me? Because you've got to do a thesis question. And then I go and dig and play and have fun. And that's basically what I've been doing after I finished work this afternoon. I had this niggling in the back of my head, and I thought, I gotta go sort this out. So I jumped on the computer, and after getting up and wandering around for a little bit, jumped off the computer and jumped back onto the computer. And it's good because I got my laptop here, I've got the computer here. I was able to bring up the family tree on the computer on the big screen, and then my little one over here, I could go do cemetery research on that and not have to flip backwards and forwards when I had to transfer information or type information across into the tree. I could very easily do that because I had it sitting here and I could put it over here, and it made it so much easier and so much quicker. How did I do this before without all of this? I have no idea. Anyway, well, actually, yeah, I do. It was a lot of shoe leather on that one, because I started back in the day before computers, when we had microfiche and we had to go to the different offices and actually you had card catalogs to go through. You had microfiche that you could sort through just to find the record for them to bring it out. My mum and I had a lot of fun with that. That's how my mum and I spent a lot of time doing that, and it was a lot of fun. Let's see, I don't even know where I'm up to. Accept partial confirmation. Not every detail can be verified. Even partial evidence can support a story. Balance certainty with openness. So this is sort of like where you can kind of sort of find some evidence that supports the story. You just can't find the actual piece that would absolutely blow that thing out of the water. I've got that with one of my clients. They and I was researching in Jamaican records, and in Jamaica, they only got to a certain date in 1925, it's 25 or 26. And the record that we needed was after that date. And that was based on all the other information that we had. And I put on my little detective hat and off I went moving around because we were trying to find a birth mother for the person that we were looking for. And we got to be about 98% sure that it was this particular person. But all we needed to do that was the birth record. And the birth records online only went up to, like I said, 1925, 1926. But a certain date in there, and he was after that date. His birth date was after that date. But that one piece, and so we've tried finding it other rounds, can't find it. But if we get that one piece, it will blow open our theory. Did we get it right? Did we not? So we're partially right on that. And we've been moving along with that, with the thing in the back of our mind that there's a 2% chance that we could be totally on the wrong path. But based on the oral history that I have been given for this family, based on what they know, everything fits with this particular person that we're looking at. Everything fits, the whole thing. Everything else fits. We just need that birth record to tie it all together. So yeah, you can have that. And like I said, at the moment we can't verify it. Neither of us are in Jamaica. So we couldn't go to the records office and say, I need this. But anyway, it may turn up at some point in time. It may not. We don't know. They may release them at some point in time. We don't know. But for now, we're like 98% sure that we've got the right person. Got to leave some room for doubt. Anyway, use discrepancies as research leads. Differences between stories and records can reveal new directions. Contradictions invite further investigation. Absolutely. When you get records that contradict each other, man, okay, let's follow this one down this path. Let's follow this one down this path. Let's see if there's anything in the middle that we can come across. Questions lead to discovery. This is a perfect example. I'm working on the family tree that I'm working on right now. I know a little bit of the oral history. I know a little bit of their history. And then I've been asking other people in the family clarifying questions. And I've been getting information that doesn't match up. And some of it has been, I've been messaging backwards and forwards with some people on Ancestry in their messaging area. And even the family members I reach out through that are coming back with contradictions. They can't agree on the date that something happened. They can't agree that this person married this person. Maybe there was a second marriage in there. We don't know. They don't know. We've always known this woman to be the... No, we've always known this one. So we're investigating that as well. Who knows what we'll find as we dig in. But I tell you, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, and then preserve both story and evidence. If a story cannot be fully verified, it still holds value. Document both versions clearly. Respect both memory and evidence. And there was one record I came across on Ancestry one time for a family I was looking at. And I had been trying to find this person. I could not find any record of that this person even existed. Then I came across somebody's tree on Ancestry, and I was like, well, this will be interesting. And they had this massive note written. I will tell you, this note was amazing because they had this massive note written against this person I've been trying to find records for. And this note basically said that they had researched every record they could possibly think of. And this person was a professional genealogist as well. Researched every possible link they could possibly think of and could not find any traces of the family. But the oral history claims that this person existed. We have tried different names. We have tried different things. We have asked different questions of the family and all that. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And she went through basically her entire process of what she had done. She could not find that this person existed. Couldn't find a birth record, a death record, a marriage record, even though the person had been married. And we know the person existed. We had seen them in photographs and we're sort of like, well, what's that person's name? Everybody told us it was the same name. So I reached out to this person who had this tree and had written all of this and said to her, I happen to be researching that same family and I came across your tree and this very interesting story of your research and everything else. I said, is it possible? I said, and reading everything there, I said, it wasn't mentioned, but is it possible that person was not born under that name. They said, what do you mean? I says, something happened in their past and they ended up changing their name to get away from their past. And she said, like, that's something I didn't think about. And so now we're both collaborating on trying to find this person. And every now and again, we both come together, like once a quarter, we come together and we said, what have you found out? Absolutely nothing. We've reached out to family members. We have asked questions of family members. They've given us all the information that they know about this person, when they got married, who they got married to, and even grandchildren of this person. So we know this person exists. We can't find a single record for this person. And we have looked, and we've been looking high and low. We've even had, and based on the verbal history that we've been given, all the information we've been given about this person, it's all verbal, all oral. We're compiling notes. We're coming up with different, or maybe let's try this, let's try that. But they've always been known as this particular name. So now, was it maybe an adoption into the family? Maybe they were adopted. Maybe that's why we can't. Maybe it was an in-family adoption where no paperwork was exchanged. They changed the name of the child, but no paperwork was ever filed for that change because it was an in-family adoption. It wasn't formally done as a formal adoption is. There's all sorts of things that we're coming up with, all sorts of theories, and I tell you, it's a great brainstorming thing. So even though we can't verify the information, we have so much information on this person, we can't verify a single word of it. I mean, we've even looked up wedding notices and all of this sort of thing. We've been, she lives in an area that's close to where all the records are kept in her county. And so she's even been, and this is over in the UK. And so she's been down to the county offices and searched through the records. No trace of this guy whatsoever. And we're sort of like, well, who is his wife? Is there a marriage registration for his wife? His wife has a very common name. And there were several women with that name that were married around that time that people recall that they were married. So there's several women with that name that are all registered in that time period. But their husbands, none of their names match up with the person we're trying to find. So it's a very interesting story. We'll keep you posted on if we find anything, if we finally find that one piece of paper. And then we're sort of like, well, maybe they didn't get married in the area. Maybe they eloped and went somewhere else. Maybe they, eloped because they're in the UK. Maybe they eloped to Gretna Green, which is the common place to elope to up in the UK there, and just on the other side of the English-Scottish border. And so we're looking up records there. We're like, well, maybe they went traveling and went to another country and came back married. Maybe they never got married. That was the other thing. Maybe they never got married. They just did their own little ceremony thing, exchanged rings, and she changed her name, and that was it. Maybe there's all sorts of theories we're coming up with. We just can't prove any of them. But it's a very interesting story. We will keep you updated on that one. So why all this matters is verification strengthens credibility without dismissing the memory. Well, we've got a lot of memories. We just got no validation. So your practical takeaway for today is use records to support stories, not replace them. You're not there to replace the stories, because remember, everybody has you can all be at the same event, but everybody has a different experience and everybody has different memories. By collecting all of those together, you get a more rounded picture as to what happened. If you want a great example of this, watch the movie Vantage Point, because that is about somebody that gets assassinated or attempted assassination. It's been a while. So I actually might go watch that this afternoon if I can. Movie of the afternoon. Might go watch Vantage Point. But it's constantly playing like starts off with this person and their perspective, and then we add in another person with their perspective, and that adds another layer to the story. And then they find somebody else who adds their perspective from what they saw, from the angle that they were on and what they saw, and that adds another layer, and it just keeps going back. So you get replays a lot throughout the movie, but stay with them. I know a lot of people don't like movie replays a lot in the movie, but this helps because every time they replay it, they add another layer, then add another layer. And it's actually really cool how it all ends up. And there's some twists and turns in there. Yeah. And if you want help verifying family history, send us a private message. Let's set up a 30-minute discovery call and get you on the path to helping you verify your family history. And finding ways to do this and different resources you can use and things like that. So in closing, truth often lives between memory and evidence. And with that, we are out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic sparkling day, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. Hei konera.
The stories we carry stay bright through the night, a small steady glow in the fading light. Stories of love, loss, and pride we share until we meet